Welcome to another installment of Nonstop Nerd. What I want to talk about today is an upcoming Scooby-Doo movie titled Scoob. It's the first ever 3D animated Scooby-Doo movie to hit the big screen. Warner Brothers Animation recently dropped the first trailer of Scoob, and it looks really fun and hilarious, and it even has a touch of a pup named Scooby-Doo in it, showing Scooby and Shaggy and the rest of the gang as kids before we see them as the teenagers that we know and love them as. And by the looks of this trailer, it looks like the movie will also have a bit of an emotional side, especially with the friendship between Scooby and Shaggy. Most of the voices for the cast seem amazing, and they even have Frank Welker playing Scooby-Doo. He's known as the voice of Scooby-Doo, so that's really important. However, Will Forte as Shaggy is something that I might have to take some time getting used to. I like Will Forte. He just doesn't quite sound like that raspy Shaggy voice, but I think he'll still be a good Shaggy in the long run. It also does look like they're going for a real monsters storyline rather than the whole Man in the Mask thing that the original Scooby-Doo was known for. I'm fine with that. I do prefer the Man in the Mask storyline. That feels like Scooby-Doo to me, but I do like the storylines that bring in real monsters as well. So we'll see how this one goes. The main reason why I want to talk about this movie trailer, even though it's just another Scooby-Doo movie, is that supposedly this is going to be the start of a Hanna-Barbera cinematic universe. And if this is the case, Scooby-Doo is the perfect property to start with, as it's always been popular, it always will be popular, everyone knows and loves Scooby-Doo. I think this is a great idea. I love a lot of the Hanna-Barbera cartoons, so I'm very on board with seeing what they can do with modern versions of a lot of the characters, and seeing what they can do with having them all meet up and cross over with each other. Let's take a look at some of the hints in the trailer of a shared Hanna-Barbera universe. The first big obvious one is Blue Falcon. There's a lot of Blue Falcon in this initial Scoob trailer. Scooby and Shaggy dress as Blue Falcon and Dino Mutt for Halloween when they go trick-or-treating. Shaggy even has a drawing of Blue Falcon on his bedroom wall as a kid. There's a point in the trailer where Shaggy and Scooby are abducted by a ship, and when they arrive there, they see a big letter F on one of the doors. That's the Blue Falcon logo, implying that it's Blue Falcon's ship. So to me, it feels like Blue Falcon will actually be a real superhero in this world. If that's the case, though, why do we need these kids to be solving all these mysteries? Wouldn't the superhero be fighting all these villains? We'll see. Scooby and the gang go to a bowling alley in the trailer, and there's a brief shot of the outside of the bowling alley. A couple buildings down is a very familiar looking building. That building, just a couple doors down from that bowling alley, is none other than Mr. Peebles' pet shop from Magilla Gorilla. Maybe we'll have a brief cameo from Mr. Peebles or Magilla, or both of them. In one of the more surprising shots of the trailer, there's a big, scary looking spaceship. And this caught me by surprise because, like I said before, Scooby-Doo is mostly known for the whole Man in the Mask storyline, and a real spaceship is not something you'd see in that. This evil-looking spaceship, in my opinion anyway, looks a lot like Dick Dastardly's car from Wacky Races. And I think they're definitely going for that. I bet this ship belongs to Dick Dastardly himself. I wouldn't even be surprised if we see the ship transform into the car at some point in the movie. There's a scene where Velma is using a giant magnifying glass to do some investigating on a tiny little hair, and they do bring up finding mustache oils. So I think that is a mustache hair, and if so, it probably belongs to Dick Dastardly. He has this big, evil, cliche mustache. I think it's a safe assumption that we'll be seeing him and his sidekick Muttley in this movie. I think they'll definitely be the main villain. If they are the main villain, it would be really cool to see some Wacky Races in Scooby-Doo, but then we've already solved the mystery. We know who the bad guy is. Warner Brothers Animation mentioned some more juicy details in the description of the video on YouTube. They blatantly say that Tracy Morgan will be playing Captain Caveman. So we'll definitely be seeing at least a little bit of that Hanna-Barbera icon. And let's face it, Tracy Morgan is a pretty ideal person to voice Captain Caveman. They also go over the general plot of the movie, and it's a little bit out there. They say that the plot will revolve around a villain who's trying to create Cerberus, the three-headed dog from Greek mythology. That's something that has nothing to do with Hanna-Barbera, but it could be really interesting. And we have Scooby, we'll probably have Muttley, and we'll probably have Dino Mutt. So that's 3 dogs there. So maybe it'll involve capturing all 3 dogs and using them to create Cerberus. Why create Cerberus? I have no idea. Maybe it's a world domination thing. Or maybe it's like classic Scooby-Doo and they just want to use Cerberus to scare people out of a building that's on top of a treasure burial ground or something. I love the idea of a Hanna-Barbera movie universe. I've thought for a long time there are certain things that would do a really good job at having a cinematic universe, and Hanna-Barbera is one of those things. There are some others. Come on, Nintendo, we need that Smash Brothers initiative. They just need to make sure they do it right. Focus on one property at a time while gradually introducing others, like how the Marvel Cinematic Universe did it at first. I'm excited to see Scoob, and I'm excited to see what other Hanna-Barbera characters are in it and what other Easter eggs and references they make. They just need to make sure that it's also a good standalone Scooby-Doo movie. The movie definitely looks good from what we've seen, but I'm a little concerned they might have too much other Hanna-Barbera stuff in it and distract from the fact that it is a Scooby-Doo movie. I get it though, because they do also need to appeal to a younger audience who maybe have never heard of Captain Caveman or Blue Falcon or Dick Dastardly, and they need to introduce them somehow. Scooby-Doo is the right way to do that because people are going to go see a Scooby-Doo movie. Hopefully the focus of the movie does stay on Scooby and the rest of Mystery Inc., and we see little tidbits of other characters here and there to introduce the idea of their cinematic universe, and then we'll have a Captain Caveman movie or a Blue Falcon movie. I would love to see where they go with this. I would love to see a Captain Caveman movie or a new Yogi Bear or even some new Flintstones and Jetsons and have them all cross over in an Avengers-style Laugh Olympics. We'll see how it all turns out. I'm excited for Scoob and the idea of a Hanna-Barbera movie universe. Let me know if you are too. For more on the ever-expanding realm of nerd culture, head over to nonstopnerd.com and be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.